Hello world, PDR coming at you here with a really nice car for a really nice guy, and it looks like a tree branch fell on the hood, doesn't it? That would be correct. That's exactly what happened. The tree branch fell on the hood, probably from one of those trees. Caused a little set of 3 to 4 pretty decent dents. So I've got the heat gun on there, getting it warm. Haven't even opened up the hood and checked access for the pushing. I'm going to start with the glue pulling and see how far we can get. But I thought I'd bring you guys in for this one, just to show you what we're looking at. This is a extremely high level of difficulty for any dent guy. We're gonna see what we can do with this one, and hopefully we'll get it to that 95 or better % mark where it looks really nice and the customer's happy. So I'll come back when I've made a few pulls and show you what we've got in just a bit. Okay guys, we're back in just I'd say 10 to 15 pulls. Let me run this through and show you. A lot less of this line right here is out. Big thick one in the middle is still there, and so if I look down into it, yeah, I can show you guys. This is still there, and then that one right there has got a lot still left in it. A lot of extra metal there, stretchiness. And so I've made about 10 pulls and made a little high line right here. We're just gonna keep on going at it. I've got the heat gun on it, but it's not on right now, obviously. And we're just gonna keep on going at it, pulling and tapping and pulling and tapping until this thing straightens out. I'm about half an hour in. I'll give you an update in just a bit. Okay guys, I thought I'd bring you in here for a little bit of showing you what's going on. This is pretty difficult of a dent. It's got some lateral tension that I put on there now with these 2 blocks, just to keep that panel nice and tight while I'm pulling on it. Otherwise it's going to want to oil can, so I have to keep tension on that area that I'm working. Sorry about my finger on the camera there. And yeah, so we're basically hitting this thing up with some lateral tension to keep the tension in the metal while I'm doing a couple of weird pulls. And if you want to see what we're getting at here, we're getting it. It's coming together. It's got a couple little, basically the same dents, they're just a lot less. So every once in a while I have to put the blocks on it and do the lateral tension to keep the tension in the metal while I'm tapping or pulling. I thought I'd bring you in for that to show you. Basically just using a couple of, I'll turn the heat gun on here, but I'm using a couple of, you know, big plastic blocks, and then I get them nice and warm, and they should just pop right off with a little bit of alcohol and some heat. But I'll come back to you here in just a bit and show you what we got in another step. Okay guys, here's what we ended up with, and it, in my mind, doesn't look great at all because it has a big high line, and you can tell that it was a lot of stretched metal there. You know, hopefully the customer's going to be happy with this band-aid situation and not having to paint the hood. But with so much stretched metal there and the aluminum hood, big huge face of aluminum that had, you know, you saw it, 3 or 4 big toughy stretched areas. There is no access to the back side of it, so I had to do everything with the glue puller, and I had to leave it just that little bit of a humpy there because it keeps the tension in it so it doesn't look like a big huge dent again. Either that or it'd be a big dent the size of a basketball. So it's kind of, that's what we're left with without any kind of I don't know, electricity or whatever you do to the panel to shrink it, which isn't even possible on this because it has a second wall right behind that piece of metal on the top. So that whole back sheet has a secondary wall that's pushed right up against it. And that's probably why it got so stressed and so stretched, because that metal had nowhere to go. So it just stretched. It didn't have any give to it because it was sitting right up against the secondary brace. So this is all we got out of it. Hopefully the customer is going to be happy. He's actually a viewer of the channel, so if you want to tell him how horrible it looks and how, you know, trash I am, you always can do that in the comment section. I sure appreciate you guys taking a look at this video here. We did what we could for this almost undoable job. I would still say, you know, if somebody wants it to be perfect, they're going to have to take it to a body shop on this amount of stretch metal, but we did what we could. Got it looking nice. It has a little high weird wow in the middle of it, but much better than a 3-stage dent. So hope you guys like what you see here, and if not, I'm sorry about that one, but I'll just say the thing. This has been PDR, and I'm out. God bless.